Excellent. Chali, let us start. Namo Arhantanam, Namo Siddhanam, Namo Airiyanam, Namo Vachayanam, Namo Love Savasa Unam. Mangalam Bhagavan Viro, Mangalam Gautamo Gani, Mangalam Kunda Kundaryo, Jaina Dharmostu Mangalam, Sarva Mangal Mangalyam, Sarva Kalyana Karakam, Pradhanam Sarva Dharmanam, Jainam Jayatu Shasanam. जय जिनेन्द्र सभी को चलिए let's revise about the last 10 days. What have we been practicing? What have we been celebrating? We learned a little bit about Jain festivals and how Dashlakshan Parva is different. Can anyone tell me 3 points how Dashlakshan Parva is different from all the other festivals in the world? Quick.
It's not like based on something. It happens every time.
It's an eternal festival. Very, very good. So we saw two types, periodic as well as eternal. Periodic is related to any Tirthankar's Kalyanak or any occasion like Raksha Bandhan or Mahavir Bhagwan's Moksha Kalyanak. But eternal festivals, irrespective of which time it is, they always keep occurring. Can someone give me examples of eternal festivals?
Diwali and Mahavir Jayanti.
These are periodic, beta. Diwali and Mahavir Jayanti, these are periodic because they are related to an event and a person. Okay. So before Mahavir Bhagwan, there would not be Diwali or Mahavir Jayanti. But eternal festivals are like the Shlakshan Parva. Then we have Ashtanic Parva. And I told you all one eternal festival which comes every week. Bolo bolo. Ashtami and
And Chaturdashi.
Chaturdashi. Yes. So every single week we have that opportunity. Chali, Paryushan Parva, Dashlakshan Parva comes how many times in a year? Three
Three, I
times.
think.
3 times in a year. Okay? Chaliye. Now, what is we say Dasha Lakshan Dharma. Remember that it does not mean 10 days Uttam Kshama Madhav. These are not the 10 dharmas. Okay? These are the salient features. These are attributes of dharma. So, what is dharma? It is the true nature of a substance. Vattu Sahavo Dhammo. Dhammo Vattu Sahavo. This was written by Swami Kartikeya in Kartikeya Anupreksha. To manifest our true self is dharma. Okay? And how do we attain it? Danshan Mulo Dhammo. Samyak Darshan or right belief is the root of all religion. Without that, attainment of any dharma is not possible. And in order to attain dharma, what should we do? Attain right belief first. How do we attain dharma? Again, after darshan mulo dhammo, most important is charitam khalu dhammo. So, right belief is important, but right conduct is also important, just like that which has been written in the scriptures by our gurus. Okay? Now, why have we never attained dharma? It's only because of ignorance, agyan, because we've forgotten our true nature. And that's why the soul is trapped in the four gatis. And because of this delusion, because of passions, the soul is bounded by karmas. Like you can see all these chains of karmas, okay? And that's why our true qualities can never be manifested. How can we recognize and overcome these impure traits? First is realization, right belief. Okay? When right belief is attained, passions, growth, man, maya, lob, attachment, they begin to dissolve. All our chains get broken. And then when the soul advances on the path of purity, then we attain liberation. Then we attain uh, Keval Gyan and then become Siddha. So, right belief and knowledge leads to right conduct, which is real dharma. Now, Dashalakshan Dharma, does everyone know the names of the 10 dharmas? अभी आते हैं पढ़ो जल्दी से उत्तम क्षमा
Uttam Shama, Uttam Madhav, Uttam Raja, Uttam Sat, Uttam Satya, Uttam Sayam, Uttam Tapa, Uttam Tyag, Uttam Akinchanya, Uttam Brahmacharya.
brahmacharya. Very good. Now, let me tell you. Kshama is the absence of anger. Okay? So we are getting rid of the passion of anger. Mardhav is the absence of pride, ego. Okay? When anger goes, Kshama, we attain Shama. Okay? When pride is dissolved, then Uttam Marja. When Mayachari or when crookedness, deceit, when there's no more deceit, Uttam Arja arises. When there is no lobe, no greed, then Uttam Shauch. So, what is Krodh, Man, Maya, Lob, anger, pride, deceit, and greed? What are they also called for? Passions or Char Kashai, right? So, first we are getting rid of the four Kashais. Then we have Uttam Satya, that is truth. Uttam Sayam, that is self restraint. Uttam Tap, Tyag, Akinchanya, Brahmacharya. What are the names of the five pap? Hinsa, Jhoot, Chori, Kushil, Parigraha. Okay, when we self restrain, then there is Ahinsa. Then Jhoot ka opposite is Satya. Chori, Kushil, and Parigraha. Okay, Kushil का opposite है ब्रह्मचर्य, परिग्रह का opposite है उत्तम आकिंचन्य. Chori, we are not taking anything, we are doing tyag of it. When the four kashai and the five pap are no longer in our lives, what is it? That is tap. और तप से ही निर्जरा मतलब शेडिंग ऑफ कर्मस होता है. So, see how these 10 religious virtues lead us to the path of liberation to get rid of all the karmas. Okay? How interesting is that, isn't it? All right. What does the word उत्तम mean? कौन बताएगा? उत्तम का मतलब क्या है?
Samyak darshan.
Samyak darshan. So, this supreme, okay, uttam means supreme. Preceding each of these virtues indicates the presence of right belief and right knowledge. Inside, we have right belief, right knowledge, and outside, that which is manifested is right conduct. Okay? Now, why is this Dashlakshan Dharma only thrice a year? Why do we celebrate it with such vigor only once? It's actually meant to be every single day, okay? But because we don't have that much time, and because we are too busy in our lives, forgiveness in ignorant beings, it forgiveness stems from mild passions, not from the absence of passions. Ignorant beings means sansari jeev, we suppress our anger often, okay, because of karmic bondage. अध्यान झूठ नहीं बोलना नहीं तो कर्म otherwise you'll get lots of karmas ऐसे कहते हैं ना right from childhood we learn why it's important to do right things. However, if I'm not being angry outside but suppressing my anger inside, that is not true forgiveness. Remember that. Supreme forgiveness arises only in the absence of anantanubandhi, apratyakhyan, and pratyakhyan. And when fun is free from rag and dresh. Therefore, only true ascetics, only Sache Muni, they are recognized as Uttam क्षमा माधव आर्जव उत्तम दश धर्म के धारी. When I realize that every soul exists independently, okay, no one can truly harm or help me, and my suffering arises from my karmas. Whatever I suffer from is only because of my karmas. Then I can never get angry with anyone else. Okay, now forgiveness is the nature of the soul. This is not something that we have to add from outside, it is our very nature. And when we are engrossed, no external factors can disturb us. Okay, engrossed in what? Engrossed in the soul. But we have never forgiven because there is always delusion. There is always a big monster M, which is mithyatva. And because of this, we see people or circumstances as good or bad. And revenge is another form of anger which is deep rooted. Okay, it harms the one who's holding it. Nirvan, if I give you a hot coal, a hot stone, and if I ask you to throw it on someone else, what's going to happen to you first?
I'm gonna get burned.
You're going to get burned first. So remember, being angry, being holding on to anger does nothing but destroys us. Okay, frustration, irritation, sulking, they're all forms of anger, and supreme forgiveness is the complete absence. And then we had seen the story of Shrenik Raja, how he put a dead snake in Yashodhar Muniraja's neck. And then when Queen Chelna got to know that, she said, "Oh, you've made a very big mistake." And Shrenik Raja thinks the Muniraj would have already left by now, but after 8 days he still saw them there. Most surprisingly, Muniraj gave both of them the same Ashirvad, Sadharma Vruddhi Rastu. Okay, and because of that, Shrenik Raja was deeply moved, and then he followed the path of Jainism, and he also attained Samyak Darshan. So remember, there can be no one who is a very big sinner. Koi papi nahi hai. And also, hate the sin, not the sinner. Always remember, every living being has the power to become Bhagwan. So make Shama always prevail in our hearts. What is more powerful, anger or forgiveness? What do you think? Labdhi, batao, what is more powerful? Adhyan, Labdhi?
What? Forgiveness.
Forgiveness is more powerful, but remember, only the brave forgive. Kshama rasya bhushanam. Forgiveness is like a jewel of the brave hearted. So remember, sometimes it will be very difficult to forgive someone because they've done something wrong. But forgive them because you are a pure soul and the act might be wrong, but that person is also a pure soul. Chali, let's go on to Uttam Madhav. When I recognize that all souls are equal and my worth is not defined by beauty, wealth, fame, okay, there's 8 different types of prides that a soul can have, okay, and when I realize that all these 8 prides are not mine, I don't feel superior or inferior. Why do we feel I'm bigger, I'm better than someone, or sometimes we feel inferior? That's all because of delusion, because of mithyatva. Okay? What are some of the external factors like money, strength? Money is like dhan ka mad is pride. Okay? Dhan ka mad. Strength is bal ka mad. Body is roop ka mad. I'm very beautiful. Okay? And also feeling I'm very ugly. I don't look good. That is also a form of a form of deenata. Deenata is inferiority. Remember, superiority is not good for us, and neither is inferiority. What is good? Just staying in equilibrium, staying in equanimity with everyone. Okay? Then there's body is roop, family or status. Like my father is a king, or my father is a prime minister, or my mother's side is very, very rich. And then there can also be pride of riches, pride of power. So there's 8 different types of pride which we should let go. And we saw inferiority is also just as bad as superiority. Realizing that the true self as the pure soul leads to seeing everyone as same, and that is Uttam Mardhav. Who are holders of the Uttam Mardhav Dharma? Only our Muniraj. Okay, and our Muniraj are bowed down to, they are revered even by Chakravartis, by 100 Indras, okay, by the most superiors in the world. Do you know a king is called Raja, but our Muniraj who let go of all their positions, they are called Maharaj. So Maharaj is also like the most supreme, the king of the kings is our Muniraj. Okay, supreme modesty is possessed by those who maintain unwavering equanimity. Okay, and they are not attached to any external circumstances. Then let's go to Uttam Arjav Dharma. When I let go of all deceit, remember, all crookedness, all mayachari, in my thoughts, in my words, and in my actions. That's when I awaken the simplicity of the soul. So we saw forgiveness, then we saw um, equanimity, no superiority or inferiority, and then third, let's come to simplicity. That is also a nature of the soul. When we take shelter of the soul, when we take refuge of the soul, that's when deceit or mayachari goes away because the soul is so pure. Okay, we have shown mayachari, we have been crooked, we have had deceit with others many, many times. And saying something, thinking something else, and acting in a different way, where there's no harmony between your thoughts, words, and actions, that is deceit. Okay, and this harms not only others, but it also harms your own peace. Okay, and deceit is a very, very big pop. Why? Because it's the birthplace of ignorance. Acharya Shubhchandra says It's the home of defamation, okay, where no one's going to like you. It's like a huge pit of sins. You're going to fall in that sinful muck. It's like you're shutting the door of liberation for you. No matter what you do, if you're doing Mayachari, you'll never go to moksha. It's not just that, it's an entrance to hell. It's going to lead us to Naragati, and it burns away the purity of the soul. So deceit destroys the simplicity and straightforwardness, and it's like a thorn in the path of liberation. If you have to run and there's a big thorn in your foot, would you be able to run? No. Just
Never.
like that, deceit will never lead us forward. Okay, now let's come to purity. So we saw Kshama, Mardhav, Arjav. Now is Uttam Shauch. Kshama is forgiveness. Mardhav is um, letting go of pride, supreme modesty. Arjav is simplicity, straightforwardness. And purity is Uttam Shauch. When greed and other flaws fall away, when all the flaws that we are doing they fall apart, the soul's innate purity shines, and that is Uttam Shauch. The soul is devoid, no more passions left. So no krodh, no man, no maya, no lobh. And the real impurity of the soul is what? Attachment and aversion in the form of passions. And the last passion, which is greed. But don't we say, Lobh paap ka baap hai? It's like the father of all the sins. And who's the grandfather of all the sins? Kisko yaad hai?
Yeah.
Grandfather of all the sins?
Mithyat.
Mithyatva is the grandfather of all the sins. Right. So the passionless nature of the soul manifests, and that is supreme purity. When we get rid of all the passions, that's when we attain supreme purity. Okay. Many forms of greed, fame, love, fitness. It's not just about money or wealth. It includes greed for fame, beauty, even love. Okay. Even the purest seeming emotion is a form of greed. The entire world, a lot of people say, a lot of other religions say, we should love everyone, but that means being attached to someone. No. And remember, that is also a form of greed because you're wanting someone. Hidden greed, when we deeply reflect and introspect, all attachments and aversions are kashai. Okay? Attachment to money, fame, loved ones, or even our body for that matter. The world often mistakes compassion and kindness as true religion. But compassion and kindness, when you are compassionate to yourself, then you will be compassionate to others. And remember, all our Shubha Bhav, all our pure dispositions, they are also causing influx of karmas. So that is not dharma. Okay? And true purity is passionlessness, freedom from all attachment and aversion. And how will we attain that? Only by staying in our own soul. Who has attained that? Our Muni Raj. They are Uttam Shauch ke Dhari. Just as have you heard of that magical stone? It's called Paras Mani or Paras Patthar. The moment it rubs against something, it'll turn that thing into gold. Like that, if you're pure, everything around you will also be pure. And the soul makes every engrossed modification pure, like every paryay will be pure. Okay, so may we all attain this purity in our life. Who can tell me the first four dharmas that we just did quickly? What are the first four supremes that we covered?
Uttam
Supreme.
Shama Madhav Ajav Satya Soch.
All right, we are just doing satya right now. Okay, we did short. Who can tell me in English? Supreme forgiveness, supreme
Sup-
bolo,
sup- Supreme modesty.
good,
Supreme.
straightforwardness,
Supreme straightforwardness.
hmm,
Supreme.
supreme purity, shuchita. See, ashuchi is impure, and the opposite of ashuchi is pure. Now let's go on to supreme truth. How important is this? When I recognize that truth is not just in words, but truth is the nature of my soul, that's when I let go of all the falsehood and manifest that which is unchanging, eternal, and that which is the essence of the soul. Okay? So remember, there's Anuvrat and Mahavrat. Anuvrat are small vows, Mahavrats are bigger vows. Okay? So The second Anuvrat is Satya Anuvrat, Satya Mahavrat. Okay? And also Muniraj follow Bhasha Samiti. They're very careful when speaking something. And Vachan Gupti. Do you know all our Tirthankars after taking Diksha, they go mourn, they will not talk anything until they attain Keval Gyan. So, supreme truth is the nature of the soul and it extends far behind what beyond words can contain. So, just speaking the truth is not the supreme truth. Okay, it's also thinking thoughts of truth. Every substance exists eternally. Just like we exist eternally, Atma Anadi Anant hai, all substances are eternal. And do you know where the word Satya comes from? It comes from the word Sat. Sat is eternal. Sat Dravya Lakshanam. Eternity is the nature of the Dravya and the pure manifestation that emerges due to shelter of an eternally existent Svabhav. Soul, it leads to passionlessness. All the Kashai goes away, and that is supreme truth. It is very important to know the truth, to believe in the truth before speaking the truth. And one can be free of passions only when we have right belief and right knowledge. Okay? And when can that happen? Only when we are engrossed in the soul. Now remember, first there was false belief, false knowledge, false speech, and it exists. Falsehood exists only in ignorant beings. Ignorant matlab jo mithya drishti hai. And as seekers, we should understand what the truth is in order to attain right belief, right knowledge, and right conduct. Very important to know that substances, all substances, sabhi dravya kaise hai? Eternal hai. So sat or truth, there is nothing else except the truth. Uttam Kshama, Mardav, Arjav, Short, Satya, and now we go to Sayam. Sayam is like applying brakes on your car or on your bicycles. When my active consciousness turns inwards and I immerse in the soul, that's when true austerity or true Sayam arises. Okay, it's effortless. Anyone who did Ekasan or Beasan or any upvas or any form of self restraint during Paryushan Parva, like
Yeah,
all good luck.
was in
Very
one
good.
vacation.
Excellent, Avika, Avi, very good. You know what? Even if you take a niyam for the next 2 hours, 3 hours, I'm not going to eat anything. I won't drink anything. Even that small niyam will give you power to take on a big niyam. Chali, Uttam Sayam, that is complete engrossment of एक्टिव कॉन्शियसनेस मतलब अपना पूरा ज्ञान ध्यान अपने आत्मा में लगा ओके व्हेन यू शिफ्ट योर फोकस फ्रॉम आउटसाइड फ्रॉम एवरीथिंग एक्सटर्नल दैट्स व्हेन ट्रू प्योरिटी ट्रू austerity emerges okay when you focus on your pure soul okay it includes limited vows as householders as shravaks we have small vows and there's complete vows mahavrat for ascetics okay and these help us to control our mind body speech okay austerity is the state of the soul that arises with right belief right knowledge and destruction of passions. The path of austerity moves from inside out. From outside, if I just stop eating something, but from inside, if I have that overwhelmed desire, like suppose you've taken a niyam कि आज एक ही बारी भोजन करूंगा, and in the evening you have this overwhelmed desire कि मुझे pizza खाना है. Will that be an ekasan then? Because all the time you're thinking of pizza, pizza, pasta in your mind. No, but it's very important. You're not eating, and also the thoughts are about the soul, about Dev Shastra and Guru. So that is real restraint. External austerity is divided into restraint of violence. So whenever we are taking any vow, remember there's two types of sayams. Okay, one is prani sayam. You're not hurting one, two, three, four, five sense sheaves: earth, water, fire, air, or wind, and plant okay or any multi-sensed being 2 3 4 5 sense you're not hurting any of them and that is on the outside but what is inside restraint on the subjects of the five senses and the mind so your five senses are not no longer being your slaves you are being the master of the senses okay so, restraint on violence, it involves avoiding both harmful intent and physical violence. Not that मैं किसी को मार नहीं रहा, I'm not hurting anyone, but my thoughts are of violence. ऐसे काम नहीं चलेगा. True violence cannot emerge as long as negligence and passions remain. Wherever there is kashai, remember, having kashai or the thoughts of pap itself are violence. And sensually pleasures, the five sense pleasures, cannot be avoided if internal desires persist. So if one has this desire within, then we will we will feel like utilizing that thing, like eating that thing, hearing music, and overcoming our passions and desires is essential, very important. Okay, real sayam, real austerity is the seeker's jewel. Okay, we must guard it. So it's like you have a most precious jewel, and what is that? That is sayam, that is self discipline. Now let's come to the seventh one, Uttam Tap. It does not lie in hardship. Like, see, when we are doing Upwas, Vrat, Ekasan, if you're finding life too difficult, that is not real tap. Tap is something which we should really enjoy. Okay? Conquering our desires and being absorbed in the self, where every attachment, where you are no longer attached to anything, and that's when liberation happens. So, conquering all desires and attachments through renunciation. Renunciation, matlab, through giving away, giving up that thing, along with complete engrossment in the self. So, see, for every single dharma, one common thing that we've seen is engrossment in the self. Until you know the soul, until you believe in the pure soul, until you are absorbed in the pure soul, we will never ever attain true dharma. Victory over desires, along with engrossment in the self. That is Uttam Tap, supreme penance. Before we saw victory over the five senses and mind. Okay, not hurting the um, the five Ekendriya Jeev and then the two, three, four, five sense jeeves. That was supreme restraint or Uttam Sayam. Now, what is Nishchay Tap? That is self realization. Okay, in which there is no karmas, there's dissociation of karmas. Remember, without Samyak Darshan, without knowing what the soul is, how the soul is, without knowing about that and Veda Vigyan, no matter how much vrat tap we do, nothing is fruitful. And supreme penance, it is that sword which destroys all the karma. How beautiful is this? And it is that which leads us to liberation. Okay? Tapasaha nirjara. Nirjara is shedding of the karmas. Only tap can lead to shedding of the karmas. And practicing Shukla Dhyan, this is the most pious or most auspicious dhyan for 48 minutes. If you can focus on the soul, that will get rid of all the karmas. Okay? And the best part is only humans can do Sayam and Tap. Do you think Narki, Tiryansh, or Dev can do it? No. Okay. Now, everyone says Devgati is good, but still in Devgati, the Devgatis, the higher Devs which are Samyak Drishti, they crave to become human so that they can take Diksha, so that they can follow Tapasya. 12 types of Tap, external and internal. External is what we practice, Anshan, not Upwas, Avmodarya is Ekasan, food restrictions. I'm only going to eat a particular type of food today. I won't drink milk or I won't take vegetables or giving up stimulating foods, ras parityag, or vivikta shayyasan, like being in solitude, or kaya klesh. You know, our Muniraj, in the hot summer, on a hot summer's afternoon, they'll go right on the top of a mountain and meditate on a rock, on a hot rock. So that's called kaya klesh. Okay, giving discomfort to your body and doing Bhed Vigyan, that it is not affecting the soul. It's only my body which is being affected. And also, you're doing Bhed Vigyan. I am not my body, I am engrossed in the pure soul. Can we do Kai Klesh like that now? No, we don't have that willpower, but we can do the smaller things, the Ekasan, Upwas. Okay? Every day we can take one small niyam that whatever mom has created, mom or dad has cooked at home, whatever is in the fridge, apart from that, I won't eat anything. Isn't that a very simple niyam? And that is also limiting us in our path. Then after external, there's internal penance, which is prayashchitta, regretting for all your mistakes, vinay, revering all our tirthankar sadhu bhagwans. Service is vayavruti for your gurus, sadhus. Most important, study your swadhyay, that which is we are doing now. Then we have renunciation. Vyutsarga means letting go of the attachment to the body, and meditation. Out of these swadhyay, param tapaha. Swadhyaya is called, said to be a prime tap. And without meditation, without dhyan, none of our Tirthankars or Bhagwan could go to moksha. The purity of the soul increases as one advances through all these tapasyas. So, who can say the first seven names quickly? Quick, quick. Supreme forgiveness. Come
The
on, come on.
supreme forgiveness, supreme modesty, supreme simplicity,
Hmm?
supreme
Purity.
purity, supreme truth,
Hmm?
supreme self-resistance, supreme finance.
Penance. All
Penance,
right.
yeah.
Before penance, it was self restraint. Okay? Restraint is to control yourself. Now let's go to supreme renunciation. Everyone pay attention because I would love for everyone to get these names right. Okay? Supreme renunciation or Uttam Tyag. Uttam Kshama, Mardav, Arjav, Sot, Shatya, Sayam, Tap, and we've come to Tyag. When I realize that all attachments are alien to my nature, we all know what an alien is, right? That which is not our own. When I realize that attachments are not mine, I let go of every possession. And what do? I immerse in the self. So, most important for all the Supremes is immersion in oneself. That is discovering the freedom of supreme renunciation. Now, what is Uttam Tyag? The annihilation of all attachment. Annihilation matlab letting go of all rag and dvesh along with engrossment in the soul. That is supreme Tyag or renunciation. When the soul knows itself, the attachment towards everything outside. Look at this picture of a prince here. When he is engrossed in the self, all his attachments, all those chains of attachment break down. And that is real tyag. What is the nature of the soul? Neither to own anything nor to renounce anything. There's this Shakti called Tyag Upadan Shunyatva. I don't need anything from outside. I don't need to remove anything from what I have within my soul. Okay? And realizing the true nature perceives attachments, all the rag is alien. It's not mine. And what is real tyag? We think giving away clothes, giving away your home, getting out and staying in the jungle is tyag. But most important, true knowledge is tyag. Because the moment I know something is not mine, what happens? I'm not attached to it. And the moment I know that I am only a pure soul, I'll be engrossed in the pure soul. So true knowledge leads to destruction of all the passions, kashaya, and all the external detachment, which is called conventional renunciation. Okay? Now, what is the differentiation between tyag and dan? Tyag is done by Muniraj, and dan we can do dan by because we are householders. Tyag is let go of external substances, okay, like tyag of clothes, tyag of houses, and donation is giving away what I possess as a householder. For tyag, you don't need to own the subject or own whatever you're giving away. But for dan, I can only give away that which I have. And tyag focuses on detachment, and dan focuses on charity and generosity. Tyag is done of things which are not good for us, okay, like pride. And dan is done of things which are beneficial to us and beneficial to others as well. In tyag, there is no attachment. But in dan, Avi, you might give away one of your good old shorts to someone, but will you be still be attached? We can be attached to it, isn't it? Like I used to love that. That was my favorite. But in Tyag, there is no attachment. Tyag will lead us to liberation. But Dan, because it will bring us punya karmas, it will give us bondage of good karmas. So that's the difference between Tyag and Dan. Now, supreme non possession or Uttam Akinchanya. When I let go of all the attachment. So we saw Sayam, Tap, and then we saw Tyag. And now I've realized I have nothing. Nothing belongs to me in this world. I let go of attachment to all that is not my true self, both internal and external. That's when I discover the freedom of non possession. That is supreme akinchanya, supreme non possession. All external substances are alien, they are not mine. Okay, So that includes the mithyatva, rag, and dvesh, which are, why do they arise? Because I'm focusing outside. If I focus on my soul, will there be any mithyatva left? Will there be any rag, avika, nirvan bolo if I focus on my soul? Not at all. Okay? Such knowledge, belief, and abandonment achieved by taking shelter in the pure soul, that is called supreme non attachment. Supreme non attachment, okay, Uttam Akinchanya and Uttam Brahmacharya, they are like two sides of the coin. When I'm not attached to anything outside, I'll be engrossed in the soul naturally. Okay? One emphasizes on differentiation. I'm not this, I'm not that. And Brahmacharya emphasizes on who I am. Remember, Brahma means Atma. Charya is to be engrossed. Okay? Akinchanya articulates negatively because you are giving away things. Okay? And Brahmacharya is the nature of the soul. So one is just like I'll say Nirvan is not Avi. So we are speaking about that which isn't. But this is Avi. So like that, Akinchanya mein, we are focusing on that which does not belong to me. And Brahmacharya, we are focusing on our pure soul. What is the true meaning of possession? Is does possession only mean like wealth, houses, clothes, riches? Now, if someone is very, very poor, will they be following Uttam Akinchanya? No. True non-possession is beyond all the material stuff. Okay, the absence of desires and the detachment from all material things, that is non-possession. Okay, there's 10 types of external possessions like family, wealth, house, vehicle. Okay, what else? The utensils, the clothes, the food, dhanya, the grains, all that is external possessions. And internal possessions, krodh, mithyatva, the king of all possessions is mithyatva, krodh, man, maya, lobh, and then hasya, rati, arati, the nine quasi passions. All right, so all these are possessions. Which is the biggest possession that does not allow us to go to moksha? Which one is that? Look, the big monster M. Come on, bolo.
Mithyatva.
Mithyatva. Are y'all understanding what I'm saying, everyone? Am I going too fast for y'all?
No.
Are you sure? Labdi, Arvi, Prasuk, bolo. Am I going too fast?
Nothing.
No. This is fine.
All right. So delusion is the single most important position. Delusion or ignorance is mithyatva, whose presence it hinders the renunciation. It hinders the tyag of all the other 23. Remember, we saw 24, 10 external and 14 internal. Only when mithyatva, delusion, and passions are eliminated, that's when external renunciation can occur. Okay, and then when there is no attachment to the body, it leads to samyak darshan, samyak gyan, samyak charitra. And true ascetics, our Sache Muni Raj, those who have those three jewels of right belief, knowledge, and conduct, they are the ones who embody the supreme non possession. We must deeply understand the nature of the true non possession. Akinchanya is not. Kinchit is not even a little bit, even one iota, even like one tinsy bit, even one particle does not belonging to me. That is Uttam Akinchanya. And now coming to the last dharma. When all attachment to the senses are gone, I become wholly engrossed in the pure self. That's when I awaken the highest bliss of supreme Brahmacharya. So, Brahma is the pure soul and Charya is engrossment. The term Brahma means the pure soul and Charya is being completely engrossed. Hence, the true essence of Brahmacharya is being wholly immersed in the self, forsaking all attachments to external substances. Okay? Only when I detach from everything outside me will I immerse in myself. It is of paramount, it is so important, the biggest virtue, and it represents the ultimate step on the path to liberation because a soul that becomes engrossed in the soul self for 48 minutes will definitely attain liberation. Uttam Brahmacharya is not just celibacy for boys staying away from girls, for girls staying away from boys. That is not all that brahmacharya means. But to get rid, to renounce, to give up all the five sense pleasures. Okay? And even the desire for it. When is engrossed in the soul, only then we can give up the pleasures. Just giving up, just me not eating something which I like, or not looking at something, not touching something which is soft, that does not mean brahmacharya, but self restraint along with engrossment in the soul. And when does that happen? Only when, oops, sorry, only when the nature of the self, only when one comprehends the self, only when the nature of the self is realized, that is uttam brahmacharya. Okay, only someone with right belief, knowledge and conduct can attain brahmacharya. Samyak darshan is very, very important. And what does it reveals? The genuine happiness lies inside us. When I know that happiness is only in my soul, then I will not look forward for happiness. So we must forgive everyone. Okay, all those who have become Tirthankars, Bhagwans, they know that everything in this universe is independent. Okay, no one can be blamed. Then all souls are equal. Okay, what is the difference between Bhagwan and me? All of us have the same Shakti, okay, same power, same potential, but Bhagwan has unleashed his potential. And you and I here, we are still in sansar because we have not realized our potential. Okay? The soul is very simple, consciousness on the inside, consciousness outside. So then we will not manipulate anyone. That is Uttam Arja. Uttam Shoch means supreme purity. When I don't need anything, I have enough. That's abundance, thoughts of abundance. That's when I won't do any, won't feel greedy about things. Uttam Satya. Satya comes from Sat, which means existence. We all will exist forever. Okay, that is only the ultimate truth. So that I won't feel scared about anything. Then Uttam Sayam. The soul is self sufficient. I feel happy only from myself. Happiness, we are all fountains of happiness. How cool is that? Then I won't be a slave to anything outside or my pleasures, my five senses. I won't bother about getting pleasures from outside. The nature of the soul is to be detached from outside. Okay, attachment to the self, detachment from everything outside will lead us to liberation. The soul is self-sufficient. Nothing can be added or deleted from the soul for its existence. Okay, and tyag of something is also a myth, because I've the soul has never ever grabbed anything from outside. So that which we need to give up or tyag is only mithyatva, the illusion of ownership. The soul does not own anything from outside. The soul is complete by itself. And akinchanya, all the worldly possessions, karmas, it floats outside us. It never enters my soul. Okay, even our moharag dvesh is on the outside. We do not need possessions or karmas or love to make us happy, because we are complete from within. If we realize that, then we'll stop our blind race to compete against each other, to accumulate more money, and we will find completeness within us. Okay, and last one, Uttam Brahmacharya, the soul is self made. Okay, no one has made the soul, and we can realize its full potential only by reflecting on the soul. There is no point in seeking God outside, because God is inside us. Will you believe God is each one of us have the potential to become God? So, what we will focus on is self reflection, and only then eternal bliss follows. So, that was about the 10 dharmas, and we started with Uttam Kshama, and the last day after the 10 days is also Kshamavani Parv. So, all our passions have melted away, we've attained to self restraint. Okay, all our karmas are being shed off, and that which stays within is just purity. And that's why, that's when pure words of Uttam Kshama arrive from all of us, and that is Kshamavani Parv. Remember, never ever hold on to any anger. Only Jains, we are so lucky to have this special celebration in our life. All the anger that you've been attached to, all the circumstances or all the people that you feel have made your life miserable. Forgive them. Forgive yourself from all the sins. That helps to forgive us from all the sins. Has this been interesting? Have you enjoyed learning about the 10 dharmas? All right. Dashlakshan Parva comes thrice a year, and every single time we'll focus deep into the depth of each dharma. We've only seen them superficially, but what does it mean to apply them in our lives? Now, close your eyes, everyone. Turn your videos for a minute, please. Not even a minute, just a few seconds. And if there's anyone that you think has done wrong to you, has said wrong to you, forgive that person. You don't need to tell me. Think of that person in your mind and forgive that person for all the wrong things that you've done. The anger, pride, deceit, greed, krodh, man, maya, lobh, hinsa, jhoot, chori, kushil, parigraha, the five pap. Forgive yourself for doing the pap and promise yourself, I'm not doing it again, because that's not my true nature. And then gently open your eyes and go to mom and dad and say Uttam Kshama to them and promise them that you will become the best version of yourself. We all like the word supreme, isn't it? We all want to be supreme, right? So we can only become supreme by taking refuge, taking shelter of our soul, and the nature of the soul is Kshama, Mardhav, Arjav, Satya, Short, Sayam, Tap, Tyag, Akinchanya, and Brahmacharya. That is the nature of the soul. Who can recite the names of the 10 dharmas? One in English and one in Hindi. Come on, quickly, and then we'll end. Adhyan, not you. Adhyan, you did it before. I know. Yes, Prasuk. Bolo.
Shama, Madhav, Arjav, Satya, Shach,
Hmm.
Sayam, Tap,
Hmm.
Tyag, Akincanya, Brahmacharya.
Excellent. But Uttam was missing. But I said the supreme, so you were still right. Okay, Uttam. Remember, just saying sorry, you just hit someone by mistake and you say sorry. Is that Uttam Kshama? No. Okay, Uttam means supreme, means that which is with Samyak Darshan. And always remember, all these 10 Uttam dharmas are embodied by our Muniraj. And one day I want to become like that. Maybe not this birth, but one of the future births. Soon I want to become Muniraj. Chaliye. Supremes, 10 Supremes. कौन बताएगा? Yes, Nirvan. Say as many as you can. Supreme.
Supreme forgiveness,
Hmm.
supreme humility,
Good.
supreme honesty,
Good.
supreme purity,
Mm-hmm.
supreme truth,
Hmm.
supreme self-restraint,
Brilliant.
and then I'm not sure what the
All
next
right.
one.
Okay. Supreme self-restraint is Uttam Sayam. Sayam के बाद तप. Supreme penance. बोलो Avika Avi. Supreme penance. Supreme renunciation. Supreme non-possessiveness. That is Akinchanya. And supreme self-engrossment. That is Brahmacharya. The third one was supreme simplicity instead of supreme honesty. ठीक है?
Yeah.
Simplicity or straightforwardness. Chaliye, brilliant. Very well done. We will, it's already quite late, so I'm not playing the Kahoot now. Maybe next week we'll start with the Kahoot. And please tell all your friends to join back into the class. Anyone here who's over 13 years? Like 12, 13-ish? No? No, I definitely know it's not a dhyan. Chaliye, not a problem. We'll end here. निज निधि निज में बताई, यह अनंत उपकार है, इसके लिए जिन वाणी माँ को वंदना शत बार है, वंदना शत बार है. We'll say 9 times Namokar mantra in our mind. जय जिनेन्द्र सभी को, see you all